Welcome back, guys, to the channel. I'm Jake Ellenbogen, and today we'll be talking about Ashawn Robinson in our 2021 Stat Projection Rams series. If you like what you've already seen, or you like what you're seeing already, be sure to subscribe, hit that comment, and hit the like. Would really appreciate that. All right, let's move into it. Let's not waste any time. Ashawn Robinson has been quite the guy in the NFL. He's just a mammoth of a man, standing at 6'4", 330 pounds. He is a physical specimen. Going back to Alabama, we all knew he would be, but he hasn't quite lived up to the hype. We had one season in 2018 where he looked like he was becoming an elite interior defensive lineman. The Rams clearly saw that, and after 2019, Detroit saw enough. The Rams saw plenty. They added him to the roster. But what ended up happening further is that Ashawn Robinson struggled, and he had a little bit of a condition going on, a medical issue that forced him to miss the majority of the season. He only ended up playing 8 games last year, but what I was really impressed with was how he impacted the game in the playoffs. That's when he really got things going. That's when he finally was able, to start playing. So this guy has started a total of 37 games in his career, none with the Rams. This year, with Michael Brockers out, he's likely going to be the starter. So let's get into it. I'm projecting a pretty solid year out of him, and I think, there are some people that will be pleasantly surprised with his overall ability. So Ashawn Robinson, you know the rules, 17 games. I have him accumulating 49 tackles. His career high was 53 in 2017. That was actually the only year in his career he started all 16 games. You go back, his rookie year, he started 5, but he played in all 16. His second year, he started all 16. His third year in 2018, which was such a great season. It's a shame he only started 7 games, only played 13, because he dominated the interior, really had the makings of a star. And then 2019, he only started 9 games, and the last year he only played 8 games. So Ashawn's had some injury bumps and bruises here and there, but I think he's going to be in for a good year if he can stay healthy. Again, 17 games. I'm projecting 49 tackles. Not a bad number for him. Again, big-bodied defensive lineman. And I think he'll be close to his career high that he had back in 2017. But moving on, I have 2.5 sacks, which would be a career high for Ashawn Robinson. I think he's going to be able to get to the quarterback a lot easier, knowing you have Aaron Donald and Sebastian Joseph Day next to you. And to me, you're going to get some Bobby Brown in this rotation, but he is not going to be starting over the likes of Ashawn Robinson. I think people are sleeping on him, and quite frankly, I think it makes a lot of sense to be sleeping on him because you didn't see him much of last year, and even though he played 8 games, he didn't start in those, and he didn't have like a significant role until arguably the postseason. So for me, I can understand why people aren't necessarily ready to just sell themselves on Ashawn Robinson. But 2.5 sacks, 2.5 sacks, I think that's a good number. He had 2, that's his career high back his rookie year in 2016. I have 2.5 in this one. 7 tackles for a loss. So he had 6 back in 2016. That was also his career high, used more as a little bit of a pass rusher his rookie season. A situational interior defensive line pass rusher. 2018 was where he became more of, a mauler in the game. I mean, being a true, interior defensive lineman, taking on double teams and things like that, doing dirty work. In this, he's going to have a mixture. I think he's going to be able to rush the passer. You can find reps on film. This guy, was used as a stand-up pass rusher every now and then. I mean, he is athletic for his size. He is a physical freak. So that's something to keep in mind. Moving on, I have 2 forced fumbles. He had 1 the last 3 years before coming to the Rams. He had 3. He had a forced fumble in back-to-back seasons, and then last year with the Rams, he didn't have a forced fumble. I think he breaks that and gets 2 this year. I think he's just going to have opportunities. You have Aaron Donald, Sebastian Joseph Day, Leonard Floyd, and whoever else is going to be on the outside starting. I think it's going to give him an opportunity to get in there and swipe 2 balls away from a quarterback, or 2. Just getting in there and hitting the hand, and I think that's something that, Ashawn will be able to do. And then lastly here, 18 pressures, which really speaks to how I feel Ashawn is going to be in for his best season, arguably. Look, Pro Football Focus, whether you trust them or not, in 2018, they had him rated an elite grade and a guy that was really emerging. 2019, he struggled a little bit, and Detroit was done with him in a contract year. But I think the 18 pressures there kind of exemplifies how I feel his season could go. His career high is 10 going back to 2018. He had 10 pressures in a season. He only started 7 games and only played in 13. That was arguably his best year. So I think he's going to get around 18. I have 18. He could have more. He could have fewer. But I definitely think, as long as he stays healthy in the 17 games, 18 pressures, averaging a little bit over 1 pressure a game is definitely realistic. This is somebody that has been kind of painted based on his size as just a run defender, and I just don't think that's true. I think this guy can add value rushing the passer. He's not primarily a pass rusher, but the thing that I have with Ashawn Robinson and just watching him with Detroit, because I watched plenty of Detroit games, is that this guy can help you in both ways. He actually scooped and scored a touchdown earlier in his career. So this guy is going to find a way to help you out. He's aware, love the 7 pass breakups he had. So he batted down 7 passes at the line of scrimmage his rookie year, 6 the year after. And then he didn't have one in 2018, had 3 in 2019, and then had 1 last year for the Rams. I mean, this guy's 26 years old. So I think the Rams knew what they were doing grabbing him, and I'm really excited to see him get to work. He was able to play in the playoffs. He had that experience. He's going to be with talent. Don't be surprised if Ashawn has a really quiet but really productive season for the Rams and makes his presence felt not just on the stat sheet, but also on the film. And I think that's a thing that, when we're talking about defensive tackles, unless you're Aaron Donald, these stat projection videos can be kind of boring if you're just going off of stats. But I'm just telling you now, Ashawn can really, make a impact on film. He can disrupt the flow of the running game. He can disrupt a quarterback. He's an athletic freak. But on top of that, it's also important to keep in mind he's not Aaron Donald. So saying he's going to get 15.5 sacks or anything like that is just not fair. But this is somebody that's definitely going to be in for quite the season. And I think people are sleeping on him. And maybe I'm even sleeping on his sack total. If he's not going to play nose tackle, it's going to be Sebastian Joseph Day. He's going to have an opportunity to get to it more than Joseph Day is. So we will see. But that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on Ashawn Robinson. Don't sleep on him. I do think he's in for a good season. He just has to stay healthy. As long as the health condition is going to check out okay, which it looks like it is right now, then you can expect good things out of Ashawn Robinson moving forward. But again, if you like what you see, like what you hear, be sure to leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe. But that's going to do it for me. For Jake Ellenbogen, I'm signing off, and I approve this message. Take care, guys.